2011/2012 budget approval. The budget's in there, if you haven't went over it. I'd like to set the public hearing.
I did have some questions. I spent about 20 or 30 minutes looking at it today. Just for information purposes, if you take the 1.8 times the valuation, the general levy taxes, let's calculate that number. That's kind of the first step in the budget. Down under the debt levy, if you go back to the second from the last sheet, I think it is, there isn't any date. Isn't the levy for debt service on the REC loan to the community building? Isn't that the one we're collecting the debt on? I honestly don't quite remember myself.
Scott went through our bills, and that's what we came out with.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking that was a payment, but there's no date on that page 8 on community building. But anybody recall when we bonded the community building? What year that was? It's not really a bond. It was an REC loan.
Yep.
That was a 10-year loan. Didn't we build this in like in 2000?
Was it 10 years? Was it longer than 10?
2005 when it was completed.
2005. Okay.
So we built it in 2004 probably.
That's probably when we got to
Okay.
REC loan too.
Well, that evidently, because of the amount of principal and interest we're paying, must be the debt. I just questioned which debt we were levying on. These aren't really numbered, but the total outstanding TIF indebtedness, including interest owed, those numbers you have in for cookies, cook siding, and corn belt are semi-annual, so they should be double.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking that second line up above that says TIF non-bond loans and debt owed to other entities should be those three totals.
Totals in there, rather than at the
Yeah.
bottom.
So, and then that self-finance or internal loan TIF debt should be the residential, which is our inner fund, which is actually what we transfer to the debt service, and we pay that. So I didn't have long to really study it, but I think it's something like 27,400 because that's what makes it balance to zero.
Okay.
So I'm thinking on that line, that self-finance and internal loan debt should be something like, I'm not going to say that's the right number, but because there's two things in the budget that we really should do. The TIF special revenues column and the special revenues column, let me tell you what pages those are. It's the, here I'll just circle them for you, you can have these back. But the ending balance on those two funds should be zero. So I think I would just, on TIF, I would put it into transfers out. I made some notes on there, I'll give it to you at the meeting. And on the special revenue column, because that's the money we get on the streets, and that's a per capita amount. And we don't want, you really don't want to send your budget in if because OMB will look at that and say, well, you're not spending our revenue on streets, which is state money, they may adjust that. They say they won't, but they will. Because we give annual reports on that, so we want to make sure our budget comes out to zero. And all you have to do is just increase expenditures for roads
Right.
and make that come out to zero. So,
Yeah, you have to use it.
other than those couple of changes, I think it looked okay.
Anybody else have any questions, concerns?
And actually, what column is that big one there, that proprietary column, I didn't even look at, so make the numbers big enough that you won't exceed the service area expenditures. And in order to do that and make it balanced, plug in miscellaneous revenues for a large amount of money. Because you may have capital projects where, we're talking about whatever we might be doing, electric, water.
Well, whatever.
Well,
Doesn't- yeah, doesn't make
just
any-
plug it into capital project or just put it into water, electric, and that way you won't exceed a service area.
That way they won't touch our road use tax either.
Yeah, that's kind of the big one. Well, it's not a big one, but they get kind of
Touchy on that.
touchy.
Okay.
Do you have time to come over and help with the adjustments?
I'll leave this, yeah, I can do that. They're not big.
Council have any other questions?
Does this have to be changed before the public hearing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I can do it. It's going to print now.
You have to have it by noon tomorrow.
All right, well, let's
Unless you have
get
time
this
after
meeting
you
over
go.
with. We'll do it tonight.
Good. Okay. Michelle, 3 Degrees proposal, would you want to explain that to him, please?
Do you need to vote to have the hearing? set?
Oh, yeah, we got it, yeah, we got it, yeah, we got it, yes, thank you. We have to have a meeting, public hearing to be set, we want it set for March 14th, because deadline is the 15th, correct?
Mhm.
So we'd like to have the public hearing set the 14th, and that would be our next city council meeting. So I would entertain a motion to have a public hearing.
Also move to set the public hearing for March 14th.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to set the public hearing for March 14th for the budget proposal. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried.